castle, which we didn't get to visit on this trip, but perhaps next time. And as we scan to the right, we pick up some of the churches, one of which is the main cathedral. Here it comes now. Yes, that's the Dom. And then further right, another main landmark, which is St. Peter's Cathedral. And more about that later. And then this is the October Bridge. A nice old counterpoint to the modern bridge you saw just a moment ago. And there in the distance is the Academy of Science. Not the old lamps. Right, we're onto the bridge now. We decided to walk into town. It isn't very far, about 10 minutes or so. But the temperature had fallen and the bridge is very exposed. There was a cold wind blowing. And it was a pretty chilly walk actually. Now this is the St. Peter's, which we saw just a moment ago through the wires this time, very artistic. That church was bombed during the war and completely destroyed and then rebuilt. You'd never guess to look at it now.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is that you? Hey?
Pardon?
Is that you?
No,
Why
no.
are you looking down at the world?
Well, I'm
You
looking down.
see these cars skidding everywhere?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, that's what my boots are doing. Aren't yours slipping?
No, they're very good.
These are creepy, aren't they? Mine aren't sort of what I call, they haven't got creepy, thick, creepy soles.
No. Good for the snow, isn't it?
You try and walk so fast, is the problem.
Right, here we are now at the base of St. Peter's. Some lovely old buildings out the back here. And in fact, through those buildings, behind those buildings, is the Conventa Seta Hotel complex, which we'll be using when we go there in March 2000 for a conference. And some very interesting, different, attractive buildings. Lots of people out in the early morning. This was a Sunday morning, clearing snow. Also quite a few people selling things, although there were only a handful of tourists about. Now this is shooting into Philharmonia Square. Some nice open spaces, lots of peculiar buildings and attractive buildings. We'll come back to this square later on actually, so see it in a bit more detail then. And we arrived just in time for the hourly changing of the guard. Really quite good, I think. Very Russian in style. And this guy's doing well. He's been stood there for an hour. I've told you often enough how cold it was. And he's got control of all his limbs. It's pretty good, really. There are two guards, and the other one is being changed over to the left of the screen. As we pull back, we see the other guard coming out as the guard commander. No music for this, so they're doing pretty well to stay in time. The guy in the combats was there throughout, and in fact he was there after the guard had changed. His job is perhaps to provide them a bit of security or a bit of cover. They tell us inside the Russian Orthodox Church, which is just a few hundred yards on from the Freedom Monument. haggled our way to ownership of a couple of pictures from the stalls, which you'll see on the right in a moment. But now we can have a better look at one or two of the buildings in the square. And it's quite well known for this cat and a similar one on the Twin Tower, which is just behind that building, with a story that the person who owned the house turned the tails of the cats to the guild when they expelled him, and then only turned them back again after he was readmitted some years later. In this courtyard here is where we had supper the next evening in a little basement place, very attractive little place, where I had pig's tails and ears. I'm not going to that. And that's back to St. Peter's again. And then round to the inevitable cellars. Look like a bit of a sinister bunch there, don't they? But they're, well, they probably are a sinister bunch actually, but they were okay with us. Lots to choose from. And all the people now are actually coming out from church. This is probably just after midday. The late services have just turned out. And now we're in the main cathedral square, the Dom. Not a terribly attractive church, either inside or out actually. I think St. Peter's is rather better, but the main church of the city. And lots of interesting views down the side streets.
Have you got them? Oh no, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got them?
Yeah.
Snowing each other. Oh.
Strange building at the end of this street. A sort of strange facade, like a sort of cutout, cardboard cutout thing stuck in front of a building. Very odd. Just see it at the bottom of the screen there. St. Peter's Church and the spire. You get there by a lift with no sign of any stairs, so goodness knows what happens to you if the lift packs up, especially as it was pretty parky up there with the wind blowing. And this is looking out over the river, across the bridge that we walked from, and on the other side you can just see, and you see a bit better when we zoom in, is the SAS Hotel. Pretty nice place actually. Don't stay there midweek, it'll break the bank balance. And scanning across now, the new bridge in the background, and then in the foreground the Dome Church, and you get a better look actually at the square there. Not so many people about now. They've pretty well gone home, I think, after their morning's foray. But some of the small restaurants are quite busy. We had a nice snack meal in a pancake place, which was doing roaring trade just after church turned out. Absolutely roaring. Now, and this time, coming into the centre of the picture, the black cat. There's one, and the other one's just up and right. But past the Freedom Monument, there's the Freedom Monument, and we're going past it now, and you can just see behind it the domes of the Russian Orthodox Church that we were in earlier. Museum, the Academy of Science in the background, the tall building, a bit like the Empire State Building, I think, in some ways. And the hangars on the right, which you just see in the bottom right of the screen now, as they go away, are large market halls.